everyone, welcome to Statistical Design. My name is Jed, and today is the fourth and the last episode about me talking about my transition. In the last episode, I talked about the mistakes that I have made, and one which you should not really make on that going forward. People who are coming into this field, they should not make those mistakes, the basic mistakes. And in today's episode, I'm going to talk about the consequences of the decision that I took. You know how they say Newton's third law of motion, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So my choice of moving away from a career which I was already 4 years down had a massive impact on me. All right, let's talk about the pros first. Point number one is it was something that was inherently interesting to me. I liked coding, but not to something that was very software developer level coding. And I did enjoy a bit of analysis. And I have a slightly analytical mind, so it was something that really interesting to me. Point number two is there's a much larger scope in data science as in a career rather than SAP for me because I have seen that most of the times the companies who use SAP, I want to move into the companies who use SAP rather than be the person who fixes bugs or handles tickets for them. I just was not a fan of that kind of work. So data science was that kind of opportunity that I could use to move into product-based companies. In India, especially moving to product-based companies is considered a very, it's a very prestigious move. It has its own set of challenges, of course, but it's kind of better. There are certain pros of product-based companies over service-based companies. Yeah, that's a whole different. There's a whole different discussion. I won't get into that right now. But yeah, that is something that works for me, and currently I'm in such a position as well. Third is I have a better work-life balance. Of course, this depends from company to company. In my current position, due to my current company giving me a work from home, I have a much better work-life balance than I would if I was working, out of any service-based companies, which require you, which all my friends are required to go to the office. So yeah, that's that's one thing. Fourth point is that there is no limit to learning. As I've already mentioned in one of my earlier videos, that SAP is a private software, right? It's not open source software. So there is a very limited sources of learning, and there are things that you can only do if a client allows you to do, right? You cannot. It's not. You're not free to explore things on your own. That is not something that is in Python and R or SQL. You can go into any field, any direction you want to explore. How far? Basically, sky is the limit. And following up on this is sometimes I do side projects that inspire me. I once in a blue moon I get inspired to do a project. So let's say, for example, two of my projects are very close to my heart. One is email deleter that I made using the Gmail API. That's very close because while I was hunting for jobs, I used to get so many number of rejections, right? And I was tired of seeing those rejections. So I just did one. I just did like once a week. The program would just delete those rejection emails from my inbox. I don't need to see them, right? It's done deal. Sometimes it's auto rejection. Sometimes it's a post manager around rejection. But yeah, those hurt by the way. So I just removed it. And if it is already rejected, I don't need to see them anyway. So that is something that took me quite a bit of time to work with. And the second one was the Epic Games. So Epic Games, if you and people don't know, Epic Games is one of the companies you might have heard about in the lawsuit against Apple going on right now. But yeah, so Epic Games has like releases free games every Friday, right? And then there's a website that lists the games which was already released and which game is currently available for that week. So every Friday I have a script that runs, and it scrapes that information and it sends me an email that basically shows that okay, because sometimes I forget, right? Sometimes I've missed out on a couple of AAA games as well. So yeah, it hurts, right? Who doesn't like free stuff? So yeah, so that program runs on Fridays, and it just sends me an email that okay, this is what it is. That's how this is the game it is, and if I like it, I just go and get it. Right. So yeah, these are the projects that have been quite have been inspired to build. There have been a few other small projects as well for learning purposes, but these were the fun ones that I did for my own benefit. Uh, all right. So every decision has a con, right? I have total of roughly 7.5 years of experience right now, out of which there is like 4 years in the field of data science, 4.5 years in the field of SAP. Sorry, 4.5 in the field of SAP, and roughly 3.5 in the field of data science. But however, when I transitioned, I basically was a fresher, right? So yeah, I mean, I earned a bit more than what I started off as, but it was a slight pay cut. And I earn much less than my friends, much less than my peers who are already like 7, 8 years in the same career line. But that's a decision I took, and it's something I stick by. So yeah, it kind of is. I mean, I do not exactly regret it, but yeah, often sometimes it might hurt, but I believe it's my career, it's my choice, and yeah, it works for me. However, speaking of being at home, work from home is not exactly a bed of roses, right? There are cons of work from home as well. I work in isolation. I don't have much of a social interaction, and there is, of course, there's not a discrete boundary as such between professional and personal. So even if I'm like I can get called anytime because I'm working from home, right? So I can just get called anytime and get. Of course, again, this is a product based company, so we often the things is like you do not get pulled into late night calls or something. That's not going to happen. And like what my how it used to happen to me back, and it can be you can be woken up at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the night to fix a P1 incident, as they say. So yeah, that's not something that happens to me right now. That's good. That's the part of the work-life balance I was talking about. But again, working from home means, of course, there are eases of working from home. You can just get up anytime. You don't have to like get ready and all, and just just sit up and start working. But that removes that rubs off the boundary line that separates you from a professional and a personal working life, right? So that's pretty much it about the consequences. I'm going to keep it short. I hope it's short. I don't know how long this is going to be. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I swear this is the last episode. I cannot keep going on and about my transition. And if you have seen till there, thanks a lot for sticking around. And have a good day. Bye bye.